Welcome back, everyone, to Seek and Surrender on Awakening Airwaves. I'm Roslyn. I'm joined by Kay, and we're back again. Another month. Can't believe it.
Yeah, time's flying.
It's crazy. We're almost to a new year, and it's kind of freaking me out. So, first off, how are you? How's
I'm
it going?
great.
Yeah,
Very good. I'm glad to be
awesome.
in like the thick of fall. It's
I
my
know.
favorite season, so
Me
giving up a
too.
cozy sweater.
Although, like, you're in San Diego, so what does fall look like?
It This sweater is really not appropriate. I'm actually sitting in AC right now, so it just felt cozy for fall, but we're like having 80 mid 80
Yeah.
days still. So today was actually kind of overcast, so it felt nice like actually fall. I mean,
Hmm.
there's leaves falling, but we don't truly have a fall like
Yeah.
the East Coast, but
Yeah, I know.
we can only wish or
I can only
imagine.
hope. It's the same here in Texas. I'm like, we've been having like 80-degree days, and then this week some crazy storm blew in
Mm.
and we dropped down to the 30s one night.
Oh,
And then
wow.
it's been like kind of chilly,
Yeah.
chilly for us, but not chilly, I'm sure, for like, regular people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been nice. I've been enjoying it. I get to wear an added layer. It's a thin layer, but it's
Right.
added, and I'm excited. But yes, fall is upon us, which leads us to our topic today with Thanksgiving around the corner. We kind of thought it would be fun to talk about gratitude and what that means to us, how we've experienced it, and practices we use, and just, yeah, like how gratitude is. I feel like it's one of those things, and we can kind of get into this probably at the beginning, but I feel like it's one of those things where you're like, it's just like a term that sometimes doesn't have meaning because it's almost like over talked about. I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah,
but everyone's
definitely.
like, oh, yeah, you're so grateful for that. Or like, I don't know. It's like people have, when you repeat the same word over and over and then you're like, what am I actually saying? I kind of feel like it's almost that. Like it just kind of loses its meaning after a while.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know if you have any initial thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think sometimes it gets watered down and
Yes.
it's such a complex like thing to even think about. It's like, what does that mean that you're grateful for something? Does it mean
Mm-hmm.
that you can't live without it? Not necessarily. But I think that's where perspective comes into play. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like because sometimes we don't experience being without certain things. So we don't have that perspective
Yeah.
to be grateful for those things. So I think sometimes when you expose yourself into people that, and have conversations, and open yourself up to different experiences, different life experiences, then that's when I think you become grateful for the things that you do have and seeing that some people don't,
Yeah.
have those things.
No, that's a great perspective on it for sure. It's like almost the best way of comparing. Like
Mhm.
comparing to others can get really negative, but in that way, it's kind of a positive way to look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to start, I mean, like we said, Thanksgiving's around the corner. What was Thanksgiving for you growing up? Was it something you look forward to?
Yeah, definitely. It was always like a big family thing. I don't have a huge family, but I am lucky enough for my immediate family to all be here in San Diego. So, a big family dinner kind of thing. I had a lot of cousins growing up, so it was always just a fun time to be with the family and run around with the cousins. Um, yeah, I think now it's a lot different than back then. Now it's even smaller with just my mom, sister, and little brothers, and I made it a habit to kind of make everyone go around and say what they're grateful for. I get a lot of eye rolls, but because everyone wants to eat, but it's actually kind of fun. And it's a little new tradition that we have in our family. So,
That is fun. Yeah, growing up for me, it was always a fun time. Sometimes it would be here at home with one side of the family, and then sometimes we would go road trip up to Oklahoma, where like the other side of my family is from. So it was always fun for me because it included like an adventure sometimes.
mhm.
But same thing, just like tons of family, cousins, good food, like, the food you look forward to. It's like the special food, the stuff that you don't make all the time.
Yeah.
So always looking forward to that. And then I do remember growing up, I don't remember who started it, but there was definitely the tradition of like going around the table and I was the one rolling my eyes because I was like, I don't know what to say. I was
Hmm.
very introverted as a kid. I was like, I don't know. I would usually just copy somebody else's answer.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah. Yeah. And then now it's different now for sure, but still fun. And sometimes it's a good chunk of time off of work to like take a little mini vacation. So sometimes I've done that and that's been really fun
That's
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My own little, I'm thankful to be able to vacation.
There you go.
But jumping in, I thought it would be neat to kind of talk about whether or not we think gratitude is I guess taught or talked about enough when we're growing up for us to understand
Hmm.
what it's really about. Um, I think my mind is going to like when your parents teach you how to say like please and thank you.
Hmm.
I guess that's like your first touch of being grateful for something in a way. But what do you think? What comes up for you around that early
Um,
days learning?
yeah, I remember my mom always saying, like, you guys need to be grateful, my sister and I, like, for the things you have, like, take care of your things, you know?
Hmm.
And I just thought that meant, like, take care of what you have. I didn't know really the entire meaning of it, but I think when you have like immigrant parents or grandparents, it's a little different because my
Hmm.
grandmother, she came from another country and she would always tell my sister and I, we need to be grateful for the food that we have and like when we're
Hmm.
warm, like because she didn't always have that growing up as a kid. It was really hard.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that perspective and those like real examples kind of made it make more sense when we were
Hmm.
growing up. And I think that's important to like offer examples and perspective for kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is. We were kind of talking about this earlier before recording, but if you don't experience lack in certain ways, it is hard to wrap your mind around it, even
Mhm.
as adults. So, yes, even more so as, kids, because, we're trying to learn how to be little humans and how to interact with other people and how to share and how to, anything, play, talk. And I think an idea like gratitude is difficult to communicate unless you've experienced, true lack. Um, yeah, I think I don't know what like other than like you saying examples, I don't know what would be a better way to try to communicate it. Um, I know growing up for me, I vaguely remember that maybe in school there were opportunities for us to like help the needy, or maybe it was at church or something. And I remember gaining new perspective from that. And kind of like you said, I think it was like a food pantry kind of thing of being able to be like, oh, like there are some people that can't feed themselves or can't, have a home to stay safe in and things like that. Yeah, that's always a eye-opening experience. But yeah, it's interesting to think how parents nowadays are trying to teach complex things to their
Mhm.
kids, and I applaud them because I can definitely see how it's a challenge. And just in general, too, kind of like what we were saying at the beginning, the question of like, is gratitude spoken about enough? And on the one hand, I'm like, sometimes I think it's over talked about because I don't know if it's really felt and it's more of just like a checklist.
Right.
What do you think about that? Like, do you think we talk too much, too little about
Yeah.
gratitude?
I was thinking about that too this morning. Like, I feel like we live in a world now where a lot of people try to be like hyper positive and,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, there's a lot of maybe disingenuous gratitude. And I feel like when you're truly grateful and appreciative, that's where the magic happens and that's where it really works and you see all the effects. But when
Mm-hmm.
you're like kind of just saying it just to say it, I think it actually has the opposite effect.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do think it's a bit watered down for sure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I feel like too, when you just say it to say it, you're, it's almost like you're trying to take a shortcut to get to like some end goal of like, I'm positive, I'm good, like, I'm so grateful for that. And it's like, but you're, you're not. I don't
Yeah.
think you are. Um, and that kind of leads into saying how it's not just like a mindset. Like you can go around saying, I'm grateful for this, that, and the other. But if you're not really feeling it, are you really experiencing gratitude at the core of what it means? Like, are you, we can all think it, but until we really feel it, are we truly understanding what it means? Like, we can say, oh, I should be grateful that I have a job that I get to go to and I can pay my bills. But are you really sitting at the end of the day thinking, oh, you know what? Like, this job gives me the money that supports all of like my basic needs? Like, are you taking it in on like a really deeper level of feeling the gratitude instead of just saying like, yeah, I'm thankful for my job. It's fine. I hate it, but it's fine.
Hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What do you think of thinking versus feeling it?
Yeah. So one of the things I actually do, I think I talked about this in an earlier episode though, is taking a gratitude walk. So if I'm not feeling that great, I'll go on a walk outside, um, and just start thinking about different things that I'm grateful for. And I'll start it off with something that makes me feel something. Like I'll go through my head and name things I'm grateful for. But if it's not accompanied by a strong feeling, I'll keep going until I get that one that makes me like kind of in my feels. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, like I'll start going. And one of the things that gets me every single time, um, seeing my first born little brother,
Mm.
when he was first born, like getting to see him for the first time and like looking at him and his little chin, I'm like, oh, that memory is just like that will forever make me grateful and happy. So
Yeah.
that's one of the ones that gets me every time thinking about both of them in general too, like when they were
Mm-hmm.
little, because now they're like preteens and teenagers. But just those moments when they were so small and
Yeah.
innocent and cute. It's just like it's so easy. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sweet, sweet one. And it can be like simple. And yeah, we don't have to overthink it. I think too, you raise a good point of like gratitude isn't just like it can be multifaceted. It can be appreciation. It can be, um, a sense of like just being thankful. I feel like there's a lot to it. But when we really do sit in the feeling of it, like you said, when you set the intention of like going on a walk, I'm sure when you get back, your entire vibration, like your energy is lifted. You feel different. Like
Yeah.
if you truly embody the gratitude, it will shift your entire energy.
Yeah. 100%.
I
Yeah.
think it's just powerful. I think we talk about how when you're trying, I think we definitely probably hit on this in our episode about manifesting, but when you are trying to bring more towards you, bring more good towards you, you do have to be in a different like vibration and energy. And so starting even with the practice of like what you just said with that exercise of like listing through the things that you're truly grateful for and feeling it and then shifting your energy and shifting your vibration. Well, now you're becoming like a magnet to all of those things that you're trying to bring in at that similar level. And I think it goes back to like in, the wellness and spiritual realm, you attract what you're thinking about. And whatever you're kind of lingering on, whatever your foundation is, that's what you're bringing in. So yeah, I think there's so much power behind gratitude because it can be a manifestation tool. Like we're creating every second of every day. So we might as well be trying to bring in the positive and the good and all the higher perspectives of things and not linger on lack, but linger on like the abundance of look at what I have. Not, you know, I didn't get that thing, I didn't do that thing, all those things.
Yeah.
What do you think about in terms of manifestation with it?
Yeah, I think too when you're not genuine, when you're just saying it, you kind of like have this animosity towards it, if you're saying it kind of sarcastically.
Mm,
But when you do actually are grateful just for where you are in the moment, it gives you peace and like kind of a calm to like give you space for more things to come in. So I definitely
yeah.
think it like, yeah, it kind of resets that energy. Also, hearing other people what they're grateful for makes me grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I know in certain workplaces we'd have huddles and like everyone would say what they're grateful for in the workspace. And I feel like that like transforms the energy for groups too,
Yeah.
not only just individuals, but yeah, it is powerful even just to hear from other people why they are grateful.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking back to the Thanksgiving table and going around like it does. It
Yeah.
brings your family, it brings your community together when you guys go through and say what you're grateful for. I think too, what's important is it can be really simple. Like I think I don't want to like send people into overthinking of like, wait, am I really feeling grateful or am I not?
Hmm.
But to me, I kind of think of like I know there's a lot of people that suggest like right when you wake up, what are you grateful for? Or like right before you go to sleep, what are you grateful for? Just to get your either to start your day or like to get your subconscious mind in a positive space. I always hear about people journaling about their gratitude. Honestly, for me, I don't really have like a set practice. I often just try to think it's often in times where I'm like feeling off or imbalanced that I'm like, wait, I need to kind of check myself and get in a different state. But I try to keep it simple. I'm like, oh, I had a really relaxing morning, or I really enjoyed that cup of tea this morning. Like I felt so peaceful in that moment. Or, oh, I had a really great meditation. I'm really grateful for that insight that came through that helped me feel more at peace with a certain situation or things like that. How do you often work outside of like your gratitude walks? Like, is there any other type of like ritual or practice that you do?
Um, Not like a set one, but I find it's my go-to tool. Like it's the easiest thing when you're feeling a lot of resistance. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you're like in a terrible mood or things around you are just like not going your way, or if you're in a tough situation, sometimes it's hard to get in there and meditate. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
hard to like do certain things, some of the other tools that are sometimes easier to do when you're already in a good place. But when you're not, gratitude's so easy. It's such a great thing to reach for. And
Mm-hmm.
it kind of resets the whole, I don't know, like it just resets the whole energy of that situation. And I don't think I've ever been in a negative place and reached for gratitude and then the outcome didn't turn out great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like even tough conversations or like just a day that's not that great, like gratitude will turn it around.
Yeah.
Like
And
just sitting there.
yeah. And that definitely points to something we wanted to bring up in this episode, which is using gratitude as a tool during, hardship or like a
Mhm.
dark season of your life. Um, there, it's it's okay to feel the darkness or like the difficulties, and it's okay to need to process the emotions of like what is hard that you're going through. I think I don't want to say use gratitude to wash, like try to like you said, like try to like water down the difficulty of what you're experiencing. But I think it just adds a level of being able to not let your entire mind be focused on the difficulty or like the hardship. It gives some space to creating something positive, even in the darkness.
Yeah.
So I just encourage people to think about that when they're going through something difficult, because it's not easy. And sometimes I know, like, when I'm going through something difficult, I wouldn't want to just be sitting there and be like, you know what? I should think about what I'm grateful for. I'm like, no, this is hard. Like, I'm not happy with this situation, or I feel sad. I'm grieving, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
there's a place for feeling those emotions. And then there's an opportunity to be like, hey, let me try to sprinkle in where I can something to kind of lift me out of this. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I think a lot of those dark experiences, in hindsight, I look at and say, you know what? I'm a better, stronger person
Mm-hmm.
coming out on the other side of that thing. But in the moment, it was so hard to see why, and
Yeah.
be grateful for it. But what I do now sometimes is like imagine my future self coming to me in the moment of this dark time. And it's like, you have to be grateful for this because everything looks so much different, so much better on the other side of it. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
just try to imagine what my future self would say after healing from this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's helped a lot. Like, just kind of get, even though it's kind of like maybe even made up perspective, it really is very helpful. And it's usually true. Like on the other side of it, it was
Yeah.
like a lot better. So,
I think we can probably safely say every difficult situation we go through teaches us something.
yeah.
Even if we don't see that yet, maybe not enough time has passed
Mhm.
for us to be able to look back and be like, oh, you know what? But I feel like every difficult, even if the outcome isn't positive or resolved or whatever, like, you persevered through whatever you were going through. You had enough resilience to continue on, and that in itself is something to be grateful for,
Yeah.
and to look at yourself and kind of be like, wow, like, I got through what I got through in the best way that I could in the moment, and that's great. That should be something that I am proud of, and that I can say that, I did. Yeah, it's tricky. I think giving yourself grace to kind of just be like, you know what, even if I don't feel it right now, someday I will. And if you can think of it in the moment, even better. But I feel like I would never want to force gratitude. Like, I think kind of what we were saying in the beginning, like, you want it to be a genuine, authentic feeling of being grateful for
Mhm.
whatever you're experiencing. And I feel like there is opportunity that if you do try to like force it too soon, you may even be like tainting what later could be like a true thing that you're grateful for. Kind of like what you said, like the animosity of like trying to make it something when it's
Yeah.
not ready yet.
I think too, when you can be grateful in those times of darkness, you can kind of give grace to yourself, but not only that, like to the situation or the people that are involved, it's a lot easier to forgive in
Mm-hmm.
that space. And you're not walking around with baggage or old stories.
Yeah.
When you can be grateful and forgive, forget if you have to, um,
Mm-hmm.
like let go. That's such a beautiful thing. And it's so, um, you're so much more free
Mm-hmm.
vibrationally and emotionally when you can forgive and be grateful.
Yeah. It definitely lifts everything in the situation.
Mhm.
And yeah, you're so right. It's like the weight, whatever heaviness is attached to it, it slowly like can chip away at what can be let go, and the attachments to like the pain or the disappointment or whatever it might be that you're trying to move through. Yeah, gratitude is such a tool, such a neat tool.
Mhm.
Any other final thoughts before we move on to our card pull today?
Um, I would just say like try to make it be the first thing you reach for if it
Mm-hmm.
feels okay. Because like you said, sometimes it's too early, but like sometimes other tools, it's like I said, just really like high resistance. But try to make it a habit of like making it be the first thing you kind of reach for when you're feeling like just not okay or not
Mm-hmm.
happy.
Yeah, like trying to recircuit your natural, like where
Hmm.
your mind would go.
Yeah.
Try to break the habit and make it something more positive.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that suggestion. Because my brain likes to do loops around certain habits for sure. Okay, we have our cards today. Three as always. I'm mixing them around because I feel like I should. Okay, I will hold them up. But anybody that's just listening, we have card one, card two, and card three. As always, take a couple deep breaths. If any number stands out to you or any card, if you're looking at the screen, we will begin. All right. Card one, surprise, surprise, is gratitude. And in this card, it's number 25. It's part of, like, it's a earth card. We see a woman who is pregnant. She has a moon and a sun symbol on her third eye. There's another woman with her that has like a little cornucopia of like fruits and things that they've harvested. And I'm pretty yeah, Saturn is in the, I'm like, is that Saturn? Yes, that's Saturn. Saturn's in the background. Um, and I think when I see this card, it's just such a reminder of like the fruitfulness of what you've journeyed through to get to your current point. The fact that she's pregnant, it's like the growth internally that has occurred for you to get to a certain point to be grateful for. And I think too, it being an earth card is just such a reminder of how much grounding and like settling into yourself that you can feel when you're working with gratitude. And there's just so much abundance when you're in that mindset and what you can continue to attract. So, any thoughts on
Yeah, I
our
think
gratitude card?
um it kind of shows to me like even when you feel like depleted or at your worst, like you still have something to give because someone always
Mm-hmm.
has less than you. So I feel like gratitude helps you realize and give that gift, even if it's vibrational, just the potential that is there.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you pulled this card, maybe just sit with the idea of just gratitude in general and what you can see around you that's abundant rather than lacking. And maybe this will prompt you to kind of try to implement new ways of working with gratitude in your day to day life. Moving on to card number two, we have perspective. So we chose this card because it just felt very appropriate in terms of what gratitude can do to shift your perspective, change your mindset, take you out of negative and into positive. Is just so, so powerful. And in this card, we have a young girl and an older woman. Both of their eyes are closed. We see like an open eye on the young girl's heart chakra area, and then an open eye on the third eye of the older woman. So, seeing from a place of your heart out of love, and also seeing from wisdom, because I think, like we were kind of alluding to earlier, gratitude can really show you what you've learned, and in turn, that kind of turns to wisdom over time. We also have these branches of a tree kind of wrapping around them, kind of leading to more stability and grounding. And then a butterfly in the background, kind of nodding to transformation of perspective, which gratitude can definitely unlock for you. So, anything to add?
Yeah, that's great. I think too, when we are not grateful necessarily, we are so hyper focused on our own experience, and our own experience is like a little piece of sand and like at the whole beach, you know? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
get out of your own world, talk to people and gain that perspective, which I think really truly is what gratitude is rooted in, is perspective. So
Yeah.
it's a perfect card.
Yeah. I love it. So if you pulled this card, I would just sit with that idea of how maybe you've worked with gratitude, but maybe taking it to another level of trying to see how it's really shifting how you view things around you. Um, and maybe play with the idea of like, okay, let me feel gratitude from my mental space and let me feel gratitude from my heart space and see the difference, see what's really working for you, and bringing you into that different perspective. Card number 3, we chose celebration. So this I feel like is pretty straightforward. We get to those moments where things have worked out for us, things are going well, and we come together with others and we celebrate. And I think, yeah, it's just important to celebrate even just the smallest moments and in those experiences, just being grateful of like, wow, look, we can be here and we can be appreciating what has come in all of this. Yeah, I feel like that one's a bit more straightforward.
Yeah, definitely just acknowledging, that energy. I feel like it deserves acknowledgement for sure. And like
Yeah.
you said, even the small wins to celebrate.
Yeah. So if you pulled this card, maybe you've been working hard, maybe you've been getting through some tough stuff, and maybe it's time to kind of celebrate your wins, celebrate the effort that you've put in, and let that celebration turn into a sense of gratitude for what you've accomplished and what you've gotten through. Because being a human is challenging. But yeah, so happy November, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope that this episode maybe gave you some new perspectives around gratitude and what we might, how we might work with it on a deeper level, not just thinking it, but really sitting in it, really feeling it, and letting it shift our total energy and vibration. Let us know in the comments. What are you grateful for? What are you experiencing that, you're just like, look at my win? Because, like we were saying earlier, it's so great to hear what other people are grateful for, what they've been going through, what they're accomplishing. We go through a lot of difficult things. And so when you can get to those points, it's exciting. And we always want to share that with people because we just cheer you on and then all rise together. But yeah, anything else, Kay, before we go?
I would just challenge a gratitude walk, as I'd call it. Like, get out of your environment, go walk outside. Doesn't have to be for long, and drop into the feeling of what makes you grateful.
Yeah.
And just see or notice how that changes like everything in that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Play with it.
Yeah.
Experiment and
There you go.
see how it works for you. And then share because we'd love to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is all for us for this month. We just hope you all are enjoying fall and the changing of the seasons and the, darker days and cozy vibes. And we'll see you again in December. Bye.
Yeah.